Welcome back. In today's short video, we're going to look at very important concept called voice, or rather active voice and passive voice, and how we can create more accurate and better sentences by using the right voice in the right context. Welcome, I'm Ajit from Capshine. Capshine is a revolutionary learn it together English fluency program. With Capshine, learning English is easy, quick, fun, affordable, and effective, and we promise a whole new you in 6 months or less. So, what is the basic difference between these two? Well, the active voice is when the subject is the doer of the action. The subject does the action itself. And we look at some examples. The baby threw the bottle. The baby here is doing the action, threw the bottle. And this is the subject of the sentence. It's very clear who's doing the action, and the subject is the doer of the action. The one where the action is being done is called the object, and this does play the role of the object here grammatically. On the other hand, a passive voice is when the object or the one where the action is done to takes the role of the subject. For example, the bottle was thrown by the baby. Is the bottle doing any action here? Of course not. This is the object of the sentence, but this plays the role of the subject here. And therefore, this is the passive voice. Notice how the verbs have also changed a little bit, and the sentence construction has changed as a result as well. So when you use the doer of the action as the subject, it becomes active. And when the other one, the object, the one where the action is done to, becomes the subject, it becomes passive voice. Before we move on to a few more examples on where it's appropriate to use which, a quick word about Capshine. With Capshine, you get access to live classes, you get access to speaking opportunities, you get to learn and practice as a group, you get a personalized coach who gives you feedback, recommendation, and of course, daily micro lessons to hone your skills. I'll talk more about how you can access this at the end of the video. Let's talk more about the active voice. You use the active voice when the sentence needs to be clear and simple. I did my homework. I is a subject, verb is right there, and the object, homework, is right there. It's very clear, there's no complication, simple, straightforward. I play football. Again, the subject, the verb, and the object. Very clear, straightforward sentences. You can also use the active voice when the doer of the action needs to be specified. So you want to be clear as to who did what. For instance, Tony took my pen. If I use this in passive, my pen was taken, then we don't know who did this action. I want to express that Tony is the one who took my pen, so I used the active voice. Jack punched John, so I want to know who punched whom, so Jack becomes a subject, and it's very clear who is the perpetrator here, or rather the one who punched, did the action. Let's talk about passive voice. Now, the passive voice can be used in a variety of situations. One is not more accurate than the other. By the way, active and passive are both accurate ways of using the different voices, but they have to be used in different contexts. Passive voice can be used when the doer of the action is not needed to be known. For example, the park is cleaned every day. Are we bothered about which individual people clean the park? No, we're only bothered about whether the park is cleaned or not. So the park is cleaned every day. Similarly, passive voice can be used when the doer of the action is not known. You don't know who did the action. Then you would use the passive voice to create a sentence. The bank was robbed. Do we know who robbed it? We don't. So the bank was robbed, but the action, the fact that the bank was robbed, is important. Another reason why you would use the passive is when more importance is given to the action than the doer itself. For instance, the new school is being built here. Which of these is important? The fact that the new school is being built, the new school, or whoever is building it? Obviously, the new school is most important here. That's the meaning you want to convey. Therefore, we use the passive voice. If we use the active voice, we'd say something like, builders are building the new school here, which makes no sense. It doesn't convey the same meaning. Therefore, the passive voice here is useful to show importance to the object, the one that is not doing the action here. Another context where this can be used is in legal writing or formal writing. specifically in cases where you do not want to specify who you're talking about or who did the action, and you want it to convey something for all involved in an organization or in a situation. For example, the piece of land owned by Sam is 20 feet wide. In this case, there is no need to specify that Sam owns the piece of land. You want to specify the dimensions and the specifics of the land itself. Therefore, in specific legal writing and informal writing, you want to use the passive voice to avoid changing the subject or changing the focus of the sentence itself. I hope you found this useful. Make sure you use the active and passive voice appropriately going forward. Do leave in your comments other situations where you could see yourself using the active versus the passive voice. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification to not miss videos like these. To check out your free trial, make sure you go to capshine.com or search for Capshine in the Play Store. Thanks for watching.